All right, everybody, find a seat, let's get started. Welcome to your first official day here at the Foundation. You made it through the screenings, you've signed enough NDAs to wallpaper your house, and now you're one of us. So, let's get you briefed before you go and accidentally erase yourself from existence before lunch. You're going to want to pay attention to this. For those of you I haven't had the pleasure of grilling in an interview, the name's Dr. Damian Wolf. I'm a senior researcher around here. I've seen a few things, worked with some of the biggest names you'll hear whispered down the halls. Gears, Light, you name them. Some are more personable than others, but they're all brilliant. Now, listen up. What we're about to cover isn't just some boring corporate slideshow. This is what's going to keep you safe, effective, and most importantly, alive. So here's what we're digging into today. We're going to cover what you're allowed to know, what you're allowed to do, who you have to listen to, and yeah, what happens when you mess up. Seems simple, right? Just think of it as the rule book for a game where the stakes are, well, pretty much everything.
Okay, first things first, your security clearance. The best way to get your head around this is to think of it like a set of keys. The higher your level, the more doors you can unlock. Simple enough, but what you got to remember is that behind some of those doors are things that can unmake you in a blink. So we are extremely picky about who gets which key.
And here is that ladder of keys. For some of you, you'll be climbing this. But look, this isn't a race to the top. Each step up gives you more access, sure, but it also puts a much heavier weight on your shoulders. It's not about getting to the highest level. It's about being right where you need to be to do your job and stay in one piece.
All right, let's start at the bottom. Levels 0 and 1. These are for our vital support staff, the folks in clerical, janitorial, logistics. You're a crucial part of the machine, but for your own safety, we put a nice thick wall between you and the really weird stuff. You keep the lights on so the rest of us can work in the dark. We couldn't do it without you.
Level 2. Now this is where most of you in this room are going to live. So welcome to the front lines. With this, you'll get access to the information you need to research, contain, and deal with the anomalies you're assigned to. This is where the real work, the fun stuff, begins.
Now, if you stick around long enough and prove yourself, you might find yourself bumped up to level 3 or 4. This is for your senior staff, your project leads, your MTF commanders. Why the jump? Because this is where you get the files on the real heavy hitters. We're talking the Euclids, the unpredictable ones we don't fully understand, and the Keters, the ones that are actively hostile and a nightmare to keep in their box. To even think about handling them, you need all the data you can get.
And then there's level 5, the absolute top. This isn't just another key. This is the master key to every single secret we've got. This level is reserved for one group and one group only, the O5 Council, the people who steer this entire crazy ship. Let me be crystal clear, you will never have this clearance. Don't even dream about it.
So, here's a little brain teaser for you. Let's say, hypothetically, you got level 5 clearance. You can open any file, see any piece of data. Does that mean you instantly know everything the Foundation knows? What do you think? Any takers?
The answer is a hard no. And that's because of this right here. This is the single most important rule of information security in the entire Foundation. Need to know. It overrides everything. Your clearance level might get you into the library, but need to know dictates which books you're actually allowed to open. If it is not absolutely essential for you to do your job, it's not for you. End of story. This is how we keep the whole system from collapsing.
Okay, so clearance is about what you can know. Next up is personnel class. This is all about what you can do, and maybe more importantly, where you're allowed to be. It's all about managing your proximity to potential danger.
Just take a look at the chart. We work with firewalls, human firewalls. Most of you'll be Class C. You'll be the ones working hands-on with the anomalies we figured out are relatively stable. Class B folks are essential to running the site, so we keep them away from anything that might mess with them. And Class A, well, that's the O5s again. They're so important to the mission, they are never, ever, ever allowed to be in the same room as an anomaly.
And then there's Class E. This is the classification nobody wants. It's not a promotion, it's a stop sign. It's a quarantine. When a team goes out and wrangles something brand new, they get slapped with a Class E tag until we are 100% sure they haven't been, affected by the experience.
And I need you to understand, this isn't just some abstract rule. I had a colleague, a friend, brilliant researcher, got a little careless on an initial containment op, just for a second. That's all it took. They slapped him with Class E. He spent the next 6 months in a white room being poked, prodded, and psychologically taken apart. He got cleared for duty, eventually, but he was never really the same person who went in. So please, follow the protocols, always. All right, you know your rules. Now let's talk about who makes them. Let's cover the chain of command, because knowing who to listen to is just as vital as any protocol. We're going to look at the 2 big tiers, your site director and the O5 council.
This slide really breaks it down. Your site director, someone like the intimidatingly brilliant Dr. Sophia Light, is basically the captain of this ship, this specific site. Their word is absolute law within these walls. The O5 Council, they're ghosts. 13 of them running the entire show, the whole world, from behind a curtain. You'll probably never meet one. You'll never see one. You will just do what they say.
Yeah. Somebody dug this up from the archives, and honestly, it describes their authority better than any official document ever could. The power they have is total. The responsibility they carry is unimaginable. Don't ever forget that.
We're almost at the end here. Now, I know I've thrown a ton of info at you, but this last part, this is the most important. All these rules, these levels, these classes, they exist for a reason. They are not suggestions. They are the laws that keep us, and by extension the rest of the world, from getting eaten by the things we lock away. If you let your curiosity get the better of you, if you try and peek at a file you have no business seeing, these are your best-case scenarios. We will pull you for psych evals, we will quarantine you, and we might just wipe your memory of the whole thing with amnestics. And the worst case? Termination. We don't do this to be cruel. We do it because a single piece of information in the wrong head can be more dangerous than any monster in a cage. Think about it. Every Keter, every reality bender, every mind-killing idea, they're all held back by our containment procedures. But the very first wall, the most important one, isn't made of concrete or steel. It's you. It's your discipline. Your willingness to follow these protocols is the single most important containment procedure we have. Don't be the one who breaks. And that's all I've got. You have the basics now. You know the rules of this very strange game. Your department heads will give you your specific assignments from here. So I guess the only question left to ask is, are you ready for what comes next? Welcome to the Foundation. Don't screw it up. Dismissed.